Well, hello. I have been trying to film this update for too many days, just too many days. And it's just been all the things that that I have to do that I'm unable to do, just either messing with my head. It's been a very, very strange headspace at the minute. And lots of things I seem to be, I don't know, dwelling on with everything that's happened. Yeah, things have just been a little off, but I thought, you know what, it's a new day, so let's get cracking with some things. I am exhausted all the time at the minute. I'm still in recovery mode, and I think I will be for a few more weeks yet. So excuse me if I seem out of breath, or if I get all sweaty, or if there's anything like that. I'll just have to take it as it comes and do this. I'm getting so many lovely messages from people just checking on me, saying that they miss my videos and things like that. And I figured that as John's last update, or the one that's on the John and Mandy channel, was while I was still in hospital, that I should give you an update now I'm out. So yeah. I just have to say a big thank you to John for doing the videos and updating everyone. There was lots of times in the hospital where John just had my phone and was updating everyone or updating everybody from his, so I didn't need to, because I was so covered in cannulas and things, and just using my hands was difficult. And yeah, it was a lot. So he's been good at airdropping my stuff over to his phone that I'd recorded for on the way down to Cornwall, so he could just do something with it, get a little video out or whatever. I think he needed something to do. I've thrown a lot at that man lately. Obviously none of it on purpose, but it's yeah, and there's still, I think there's still a few weeks of not normal times to come. So yeah, I mean, it was lovely thinking that we were going to get down to Cornwall and recuperate by just sitting on a campsite and chilling out with Tash and John, and going out and doing things in Cornwall. And me and Tash had even planned to go to a cafe in Newquay that has a tattoo parlour in it and go and see what we can get done, and yeah, all of these ideas. And as it turns out, you know, we get down, we spend one night chatting outside with Tash and John. The next day, a few people came to visit, so got to sit outside with them and eat tea and cake and things. And then that night, my temperature was like 40 degrees, and I had a real big pain on my right hand side, like lower abdomen. And even though I'd had these fleeting temperatures and things, nothing worried me. Nothing made me feel like I was poorly. Fed up of it, you know, definitely, but nothing made me feel like I was poorly. But it did then. I felt like there was something wrong. So I phoned the numbers that I've had for Castle Hill, and they just literally said, listen, if you are worried about stuff like that, then take yourself to your local accident and emergency and see what they can do. So it's like, okay, you know, we'll go do that and just see what they say, thinking, you know, they'll do a blood test, they'll turn around and say, yeah, there is something there, let's get you some antibiotics and have it done with. So yeah, I just do need to give a little bit of a warning, because I know that John has done an update on me and what's happened, but you know what I'm like for the detail. I like the details. I like sharing things that have happened, but I think that the majority of you guys like the details, so if this is a bit repetitive, I am sorry. But I do feel like there's a lot more to tell for an update from me especially, not just an update for how I'm doing. So it can get a bit gory. So just watch yourself if you're eating or if kids are around. Not that there's anything particularly thingy with that, but yeah. So anyway, off to hospital we go. And this pain in my side was getting so bad that once we got into the A&E and checked in, they got me a wheelchair because I was struggling standing, and then when I was sitting down it was far away from the desk and whatnot. So I explained to them that obviously I've just finished cancer treatment, what have you, and then they popped us off into a side room after seeing the nurse initially. And it seemed from that point everything just kind of got, I don't know, it seemed a little bit worse. My temperature wouldn't go down. The pain was there. I was finding it very uncomfortable, feeling a bit nauseous and whatnot. I think I was in A&E for 2 nights in this side room while they waited to see what to do. And then I was popped up on one ward, and then I was moved to another ward while I was assessed. I'd had a CT scan, you know, one of them again. And they said that it looked like there was an infection in my abdomen. So what they'd like to do is go in keyhole wise and just see what they could take out or clean up or whatever while they were in there. So they come up, explain this a little bit, just say that it's exploratory at first because they don't know what they're going to find when they're in there. So I had to go and sign all of the things to say, yeah, okay, then, you know, go and have a look around, but do what you need to do. And it was a lovely bunch of surgeons, must admit. They were very friendly, explained things very well. So I'm thinking, all right, then it's obviously surgery, which hopefully if it's keyhole, then, you know, it's what, 4 weeks or something. It's a lot of time, but it's still, you know, and it's still okay to kind of deal with, and we just needed to sort that out. So John and I were talking about what we're going to do for campsites and how we're going to find things. Tash and John, lovely and supportive, of course, for all this time to see. So I go. Unbeknownst to me, John sat in the room waiting for me to come back. They kick him out of the room because they need the room, because I wasn't going to go back from surgery into that same room, it seems. I mean, I did eventually, the very same room, but not straight away. So we had to pack all my stuff up and go away in the van, bless him. And no one gave him any updates of anything, and for what they said might be just a couple of hours of a look around, I was in surgery for 6 hours. Turns out that as they put the camera in to do the keyhole thing, that my entire abdominal cavity was covered in adhesions and, you ready? And sticky infected pus. Covered. Everything was covered in it. It was like a sticky bomb explosion. I mean, I only found out all of this, or John and I did, maybe 5 or 6 days after the surgery. And the surgeon came up and she says, right, I think it's time to tell you about what actually happened in there. And as she was talking, she was so animated. She was saying that she'd never seen anything. She's a gynae surgeon. And she'd never seen such a mess. She said she wondered how I'd actually walked into A&E with all of that going on in there. So I think with doctors at Castle Hill, Scunthorpe, and now at Trelisk, we've worked out that I've got a high pain threshold, it seems. So that's something I've got to watch, because if I get a twinge and go, oh no, I've got a little pain, it might actually be something else that's related to this. So I've got to keep an eye on it. But yeah, so she saw that, took the keyhole things out, and had to call a general surgeon to come down and help her. And they then had to cut me open from my belly button all the way down, so they could get in and clean out all the adhesions and all of this pus, this infected pus that was everywhere. She was saying it was stuck to my liver, it was everywhere. They literally had to rinse out majority of my abdominal cavity to get rid of all the infection that was in there, and that's what took them so long. Again, as she was quite animated, she was just like, oh, and there was like this sticky pus, and it was like, you know, when it strings between, and it was just everywhere. And I'm like, okay. So that's what they did. Pushed and pulled all my innards everywhere to get everything nice and clean. And then I ended up with, I think we counted 37 staples got running up my belly, and like around my belly button. So yeah, they got all that cleaned up. They couldn't remove, it seemed it came from a 6 centimetre ovarian cyst that had got infected and ruptured. And they couldn't remove that because there was so much infection in there. Any cutting to try and remove anything like that, they were worried about the infection spreading and becoming worse. And they said that lots of I think it might be left over from the radiotherapy, that everything was inflamed down there, and the tissues were quite friable. So most of the things that they were touching, if they were trying to do something, would causing little bleeders to go off. So they were worried about causing any more problems. And of course, at this time, I've got sepsis as well. So they got to be extra careful with what they could do. I think they'd literally pumped me full of antibiotics and things before the surgery to see what was going on. So yeah, so that was that. So I do still have both ovaries, and I do still have a deflated, rinsed out, hopefully infection-free cyst bag thing, whatever it is, on the ovary that I need to get checked out at the same time. When I get my cancer scans, they're going to check that out at the same time. So that was that. So from there up to ICU, and I was in ICU for, I don't know, three nights, I think it was. I think my favourite thing about ICU was the little pain button. I had one of these things. It hurts. Every 40 seconds I can press a button. And apparently I didn't use that as much as they thought I might do. I had what they call a rectus sheath, which on your stomach, on your abdomen, where there's like the incision down the middle, they put 2 cannulas or catheters, I think they called them, or whatever, in, and then they had like a little bit that popped off that was literally velcroed to my belly, that they administered pain relief meds to, so it got right to the scar, to help with pain relief. So I had that for, I think, the first week, and then they stopped giving me pain meds through there to see if and the other pain meds, and started reducing them all until it was mostly paracetamol, and Oromorph if it was really bad. And yeah, I was in a room by myself, which was weird but good. I think I just kept falling asleep anyway, to do all of this. It was nice to have a bit of privacy when Tash and my John came to visit me. But I think sometimes it was a little bit boring. There's no telly in there, so it was just running off the iPad or whatever. But not that I got a minute's peace to myself anyway, because it was like 2-hourly observations. I had to have meds all the way through the day. Most of the time I had a drip going on. I had to have an iron infusion. I had to have physio come and see me, to get me up and walking again. Not that I couldn't walk, you know, obviously there's, after a certain amount of time, it's like they took the catheter out and then they gave me a commode so I didn't have to walk too far. And then after a couple of days they moved the commode, so I had to walk, I don't know, 40 steps to go to the toilet. So it was all of these things I had to make sure that that I could do. So physio would come and make sure I could walk to the toilet and back, and then make sure I could walk a bit further and a bit further and a bit further. I think even now, I managed to do maybe, I don't know, I can walk for maybe up to about 7-10 minutes maybe, slowly, before I have to have a sit down because I'm proper whacked out. but that's got to get better. So the more we move, obviously, the better that's going to be. So yeah, so that's basically it. So because of the I suppose the kind of operation I had and what it was, the surgeon said normally she'd say if it's like a 6-week thing, then she'd add 2 weeks onto it. So if she'd say 6 weeks till you can drive, then she would recommend 8 weeks, just because of how much rummaging and how much they had to disturb down there. And I'm like, of course it is. You know, no one's going to turn around and say, Mandy, you did so well that we can do it in 4 weeks instead of 6. Come on, you know, beat your personal best. I mean, why is things going to change? You know, they turned around and told me that people fly through the chemo and radiotherapy without any side effects at all, and I got every single one of them from the second day. So why should this be any different? You know. So yeah, so I'm taking it easy. Got a very, very, very good doctor looking after me at the minute, who I do feel bad for. I really do, because it's not done anything. The weather's not been particularly brilliant. He literally has alarms set on his phone, and he comes over and gets me tablets out for me, or gets the injection things because he knows I hate them. And he's basically just like running me. He's working his little butt off over there for his own business and things. You know, he's got to. Yeah, that I've not worked now for what seems like an absolute age. So it's it's important that one of us does, I suppose, because you know what we're like. We normally don't pay for campsites and things, but there's literally no choice for that right now. So but yeah, so it feels like I turned a corner a couple of days ago, in the fact that I made cheese toasties. I managed to stand long enough, even though my legs were shaking, to make cheese toasties, and then I managed to get out of my van and into John's van and sat and ate them over there with him. So that was a bit of a first. So, you know, there's little things like that, but then every time I eat, I get the sweats like you wouldn't believe. I'm not sleeping well because I've got restless legs and the sweats and things, so I think I'm going to have to add back some of my supplements, because I've not taken any supplements since I've been taking all of these tablets, because I just can't face them. There's just so many. So this is what the medication side of my van looks like at the minute. So I got myself a little sharps bin, because I have to inject myself with this every evening. It's a blood thinner, because obviously I'm not moving as much as I was. I'm moving a lot more than I was, so I wish I didn't have to take them, but I think there's just a couple left. A couple of different types of antibiotics there and there. These to make you poop. Iron tablets because I'm anemic. Big ass painkillers. Lansoprazole for reflux. All just normal things really. And that's it for my daily stuff. But you know, I'm so fed up of taking meds now. My sense of taste in the hospital went completely. Everything tasted rotten. And they reckon it was the antibiotics, then the intravenous ones. And it's just getting back to the point where things are tasting how they should. The only things I could really stomach was orange juice, pure orange juice, and a slice of toast or something like that with marmalade on it. Eating still isn't quite right, but you know, things taste like they're supposed to taste, which is always a bonus. And I wasn't drinking anywhere near enough, because even water tasted awful. So hopefully that'll get back to being a bit better, which will help with all the meds and things I've got to take. So, whew, sorry, no, a bit of a sweat. So all in all, I'm here. You know, I'll do what I need to do to get better, and I'd like things like this to stop now, if that's okay. Whoever is in charge of it all up there, I'd like to stay away from hospitals for a little. you know, 10 years. I don't mind going for checkups. I had my oncology checkup this morning. Just a phone call from my specialist radiotherapy nurse. And we got caught up so much in what's happened to me lately that I missed loads of questions. So I've had to phone her back and just say, yeah, we forgot things about this, about the thing that they were doing with the hysteroscope, so they could actually see what they were doing when they were placing the brachytherapy rods. And there's supposed to be a case study about it all and all of these things. So I wanted to follow up about that, but I missed the chance, so I will just wait for her to call me back. But yeah, so hopefully it's all onwards and upwards from here. I think the biggest things for me now is the sweating after I'm eating, night sweats, and building up my strength to get walking a little bit. So once that gets going, I think I'm going to feel a whole lot better. And hopefully it's not going to take too long to do. But yeah, I think it's going to be a while till I drive again, which obviously is the biggest problem that we've got for staying in one place. But as soon as my ability to walk further increases, it means that we can jump in John's van and go out for the day. Because obviously he's not done anything for such a long time. I've not done anything for such a long time. I think John's biggest foray was go to the supermarket and buy food for us. He's been cooking for me and everything. I mean, we know how good he is already, don't we? So it's one of those things. He just needs to stop apologising for every time he feeds me, because it's like, we've just not bought vegetables in because I've not known what I'm going to eat and things. But the fact that I've been fed, you know, I'm not going to complain. So yeah, so that's it. That's my update. So pus-filled, infected abdomen, 37 staples, a million antibiotics, and all sorts of things later. And yeah, and I'm back here and I'm out, and hopefully things will get better on a daily basis. So yeah, so thank you ever so much for everybody that sent me a message. I've been overwhelmed on both the John and Mandy video. People have been messaging John directly, people have been messaging me. I've been overwhelmed in a way that I've not been able to answer, and I know a lot of you normally get a little chat from me in the Instagram inboxes if it comes up. So I feel the need to apologise, but I don't mean it in a way that that I wish I did, kind of thing. I am sorry I've not been able to reply, but it's a sorry that I can't do anything about. So it's been lovely to read them anyway as they're coming in. It's always nice to know where you missed a little bit and that people are thinking about you. So it's I think sometimes that's a little bit of good medicine to help you on the way. So yeah, I think that is enough of an update from me. So thank you once again. Oh, and thank you so much to the people that have done buy me a coffee. It's been so much appreciated. Again, normally I reply from there, but I've just been finding my phone difficult in general. But yeah, hopefully I get my head around a lot of things and crack on. But everything is always appreciated from everybody. It really is. And you know I love y'all. And hopefully I'll get back to posting updates, even if it is, let's see how many steps Mandy can do today, you know, short videos. Not shorts, not like 90 seconds or whatever, but yeah. So hopefully I'll get another video out to you in a week or so. And hopefully things will be improving, and we might be able even to get some Cornish content for you if I get to leave this campsite at any point. Okay, well, you guys take care. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Bye.